Okay. All right, everyone. Here's your collective message for the week ahead through an astrological lens before I do the reading. We're moving through a moment where the energy is asking us to slow down and recalibrate. With the Mercury retrograde influence still lingering with us, communication, thoughts, and decisions might feel a little foggy or delayed, and that's intentional. At the same time, the sun continuing through Aries brings this urge to move forward, to act, to initiate. So you may feel that tension between wanting to go and yet needing to pause. Okay, that's the energy this week. This week isn't about forcing clarity, it's about refining it. Pay attention to what's repeating, especially in your thoughts, in your conversations, and in your reactions. Pay attention to that. That's where the real shift is happening this week for everybody. By the end of the week, things are going to begin to settle down a little bit, and what was once unclear starts to make more sense. So move gently, speak intentionally, and trust that the pause that we're experiencing is part of the alignment that we're making. Okay, that's what the astrology is saying. Now let's see what the cards say, shall we, for the coming week, for this next week of April. So we're talking April 5th. This will be April Sunday the 5th, Easter through the 12th. Okay, this is a general Celtic Cross reading for the entire collective. So take what resonates with you. It's reading of very general energies. This is different than if I were to do like a one-on-one or a special reading for somebody where I'm reading somebody else's specific energies. Welcome all you guys who joined. Thank you for being here. I'm Kat. Make sure you do the tap, tap, tap. Thank you for sending all the love and dropping in. If you can't stay for this whole reading, be sure to pop over to my YouTube channel, Tarot with Kat, and hit that subscribe button. I'll be posting this over there. It'll likely drop on Monday. The tarot reading for the upcoming week. I have a lot of other videos over there too about learning tarot and your sun, moon, rising sign and scary cards in the tarot deck. So do go check it out. Hi Shar, hi Becky, hi Lene, hi Lisa Lee. We got a few Lisas in here this morning. My sister's name is Lisa too, my stepsister. So that's cool. All right, so I feel like that's the one we are this week. We are coming up with this Page of Wands. So in the center of our spread, we're coming up with the Page of Wands. There's that impulse to set out and journey out into the world, right? That Page of Wands. That's what we're coming up as in the heart of our spread this week. Crossing us as our challenge obstacle awareness for the week is the Empress. We're crossed by the Empress, the third major arcana. All right. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Terry. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Handle with Care. Hi, Danjing. Thank you guys all for being here. Please don't forget to tap, tap, tap. You know what? I just learned this recently. I'm pretty new to TikTok. Started YouTube only back in October. However, if you hold down on my face on the screen, it'll pop up your contact list and you can share this live with your friends. So if you know anybody that's into tarot that would love this, please do that and make sure you share this out to him. It helps us. And I try to spread that same kind of love for all of the people I follow on TikTok as well. So thank you for doing all the things and thank you for all the love. Okay, down here in our subconscious tool shed is the King of Wands. We're bringing the King of Wands with us as part of us in our subconscious tool shed. Stepping out of the immediate past, we've got this Page of Swords. Okay, Page of Swords. We are coming up this week as the Page of Wands, stepping out of Page of Swords energy, crowning us in the crown. Oh my gosh, look at all these wands. And this is my card, the Queen of Wands, you guys. Okay, look, she's got her black cat right there. I've got my black cat right there. She's very sage, very passionate, very she's my card for real. She's the card I probably identify most with in the tarot deck. We've got the Queen of Wands in our crown. So I'm going to lay the cross down, but let me finish laying out the whole spread and then we'll start to get into it. Okay. Stepping into the immediate future. Ooh, the Devil. We've got the Devil. one of the scariest cards in the tarot deck. So if you hop on over to my YouTube channel, hi Lost Files. Oh, hi. Let's see. I'm not even gonna try to say that name, but I'm sure it stands for something. We're stepping into some devil energy in the immediate future. We'll talk about that very shortly. Okay, getting to the staff of our cross here. Us in our environment this week, we are feeling like a Page of Pentacles. I'm sorry, not Page of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Apprentice. Very much the apprentice card, I think. Learning new things. Our environment around us is giving us 7 cups. 7 cups. Our hopes and fears. So this is what has not yet manifested. Either a hope or a fear, not yet manifested. 5 Pentacles. This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. And then final potential outcome. And I always say potential outcome because the future is not some place that it already exists that we're all traveling to. That's not quite how it works. So this is just a general reading the energies, and if with the energies going as they will, one potential outcome with this situation. Oh, I love it. And I love this. This is probably one of my favorite swords. It's the 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords as the outcome. Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense this week with what we're supposed to do as far as just battling that urge to want to move forward, but yet having to be quietly contemplative this week is the 4 of Swords. Cool. So cool. All right, we're going to get into this reading more. We're going to get deeper in just a second. However, I'm going to pull, I always like to pull one more card as a clarification or confirmation card. And I do a special little shuffle on these where I turn them back and forth like this because we will read this one either upright or reversed. This is called on my Arcanum deck. If you're interested in all my different decks and things that I use, check out my channel. Check out my YouTube channel, and I have a cute little short I did about my big deck collection. It's very fun and tongue-in-cheek, but I do go over the decks that I use. The Arcanum deck is really good for anybody wanting to learn tarot, especially if you're trying to master those tricky reversals. Hi, Miss Michelle. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Shelby. Hi, Cherie. Hi, Anne. Hi, everybody who's joined. Thanks for being here. I'm Kat. I'm recording this tarot reading. This is a general reading, general Celtic cross spread for the upcoming week of April. I am recording it to post on my YouTube channel, Tarot with Kat. So if you can't stay for the whole reading, make sure you hop on over there real quick. Look for my little purple lotus icon that matches my one here on TikTok and hit subscribe. It's free. And this should probably post on Monday. Okay. I'm only able to do the one general reading this week because I'm in the middle of a move. I'm having to move to a new place, new city. So I'm packing my house. Ooh. Well, there it is. Wants to be that one. I did not see it. We're going to leave it that way and read it either upright or reversed. Yeah, this Arcanum deck is a really great learning deck for people learning tarot. Highly recommend. And my Rose Gold deck, which has the pictures based off the traditional Rider-Waite. I love this deck also. Absolutely love this deck. I just love the colors. The pictures are beautiful. It's kind of holographic. Yeah. All right, let's get deeper into this reading, shall we? We are coming up in the center of our spread is this page of wands. Okay, we've got 2 pages. And I think both of these represent our energy right now because this is just a general spread for the whole collective. This isn't, I don't think these are specific people in our lives. I think this is our energy. This page energy, okay, so first of all, the pages, this covers everybody. Most of the court cards have specific zodiac signs assigned them, whereas the pages get assigned a whole section of the universe, like a hemisphere. They cover a lot more zodiac signs than any other court cards. They're a lot more powerful card in the deck than most people realize because they're the lowest of the court cards. They're kind of newbies, they're starting out. So in this regard, pages represent somebody just starting out on a new journey. This is us. We are all starting out on this new journey now. And yet this week, like I said in the beginning when I talked about the astrology affecting us, we feel with Aries season, we're feeling this push to step out there and go and create and build and, you know, move forward. And yet at the same time, we're feeling this pull still from that Mercury retrograde of having to examine our own thoughts, habits, communication, so that when we move forward with intention and not just moving forward, recreating the same things again, stepping into the same mistakes again. That's so I feel like, and especially since it's wands, he's standing there with his wand planet and he's looking out at the world going, okay, where is the universe sending me next, taking me next? Where to? And he's also also all about following your passions and your desires. And yeah. So that's us this week. Challenge, obstacle, or awareness. I think it's an awareness, is this Empress that's crossing us. We are manifesting right now. We are in a phase of manifestation. So the Empress is the third major arcana. So first the Fool meets the Magician, which says, so as beloved, so below, you are created in my image. And here's that spark, and it's just the very first spark. It's associated with all the aces. It's just the essence of life, right? It's not even the seed yet, okay? And then he meets the High Priestess, who shares with him she's kind of all-knowing. She possesses all the divine knowledge. Everything that's secret, everything unknown. She's like, it's a mystery her. There are no mysteries from the High Priestess. And she tells the Fool to trust himself and trust his intuition and trust God and trust God's law. And then he meets the Empress, okay, third major arcana, and she's pregnant. She's pregnant in this card. She is the seed, okay? So she is the seed growing under the soil. And that's an important point, because I think a lot of people, when they're in this phase of manifestation, they don't see the results yet. The manifestation isn't here yet. It's being grown. And so it's being incubated. So when you plant a seed in the soil, it's all kinds of things are happening before you ever see the plant sprout up out of the dirt, right? You got roots forming, you got a little sprout coming out of the seed, you got all kinds of stuff going on that you can't see from the outside. Hi, everybody. Hi, Trish, and hi, Jonathan. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is being recorded to be posted on my YouTube channel, Tarot with Kat. So if you can't stay for the whole reading, this is a general Celtic Cross reading for the upcoming week. If you can't stay for the whole thing, hop on over to my YouTube channel, hit subscribe. You'll get notified when this posts, probably on Monday. So in our awareness is this Empress, that we are growing something, that there are things happening there. Don't freak out that you're not seeing it yet, that the baby's not born yet. And whatever you do, don't go digging at the soil because you're worried that nothing's happening, because then you'll ruin it, right? So that's in our awareness, is that manifestation that we are doing right now. That things are happening, things are growing. She's the 3. Notice that we are the 3 in our environment. We got the 3 pentacles in our environment as us. 3s are change, growth, manifestation. So also, I like to look at it sometimes when we have this cross. You can look at it a couple ways. Sometimes you could go roundabout, but I often like to go bottom to top and side to side, because this way is our subconscious going up to our conscious. So it's like our root chakra up to our crown chakra. So down here in our root chakra, down here as our base, something that we have that's just embedded in us now that we're not even like really aware of, it's almost like in our subconscious, is this king of wands. So he's fire. The kings are the court cards in charge of building the future, and wands are all about fire, passion, creativity, action, taking action. So I think we are action takers. We have this ability to take action when needed, to move in a forward direction, and we're bringing that with us. That drive to always improve and create a better future. We're bringing that as part of us. That's gorgeous. Now let's travel on up. Look, we in the heart are the page. Could this be more perfect, you guys? King we're the Page of Wands. We're feeling the Page of Wands this week in the middle, and then we're crowned by the Queen of Wands. Okay, so up here in the crown is the Queen of Wands, me. She's my card, but again, passion, action, and creativity. And the queens are the court cards in charge of healing the past. Okay, kings are in charge of building the future. Queens are in charge of healing the past. And the pages are just like the learners, the apprentices. And we're all of them. We've got all of it in our staff here from bottom to top. That cannot be more beautiful or perfect for what this week is doing, you guys. Welcome to all of you who've popped on here. Thank you so much for sending the things too. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for any love that you send. I'm recording this. It'll be posted on my YouTube channel, like I said. Go check it out. Tarot with Kat. Hit subscribe. It's free. My first 500 subscribers get a free lifetime membership. Soon I'll be opening a memberships section that'll cost a couple dollars a month, but you'll get yours free for life if you're one of the first 500. So do hop over there. So Queen of Wands in our crown. Okay, so the crown chakra is super important because that is the thoughts. That's what we're thinking. That's where our mind is. So that's what we're manifesting. That's the future we're bringing about. So with this in our mind, we're focused on healing our past. Maybe in our past, our actions were rash, or we acted out of fear, or we acted out of, and I think we're looking at now making better choices as Queen of Wands, making better choices about our actions and maybe not being so impulsive. That kind of thing is where we're thinking, which is great because it's going to change those negative habits that we're stepping into. This devil, we're getting to the devil. Okay, so that's perfect that we're thinking about that up here this week. So now let's look at the past, present, future. Okay, immediate past, Page of Swords. So this again was us, Page of Swords energy, but swords is communication, speech, it's air, so I feel it's logic, it's reason. And the Page of Swords, though, I find it kind of funny because he's a little bit wishy-washy. Remember, the pages are sort of apprentices. They haven't mastered everything yet. He's got feet pointing in two directions. Pay attention to the feet. It's kind of facing the future while still looking back, kind of a deal. And the way he's wielding that sword and looking the other way, I want to say, look out, you put your eye out. He can be impulsive. So I feel like we've been focused on trying to communicate with others in the past and maybe even convince them, maybe even change them through our words and stuff. And maybe even finding out how futile that is, trying to convince other people, right? I feel like that's what we were doing in the past recently. But now we're looking forward. Look at the feet on the Page of Wands. Our current situation is Page of Wands forward facing. Both of his feet are facing east, which is the future. It's the sunrise. He's facing east. So he's future facing, future focused. So that's where we are now. Whereas in the past, we were like kind of stuck in between past and future and doing a lot of blah, 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 right? So cool. So in the present, we are this Page of Wands facing the future. And now look what we're stepping into, you guys. In the immediate future, the devil. Okay, so maybe mid-April to end of April, this devil. One of the scarier cards in the tarot deck. Do go over to my YouTube channel and check out the scariest cards in tarot I did back in October for Halloween. It covers all those scary cards that tarot readers don't love when they pop up in a reading. Like, what do you mean I have death in my immediate future? What are you talking? Stuff like that. I cover the whole suit of swords. Kind of a scary suit, right? And then the other scary dark cards in the tarot deck. The devil is one of them. Now, the devil represents illusions, addictions, anything that pulls you off that right path, anything that pulls you off, anything that causes you to dig up the seeds that you're growing. That's the devil. It could be toxic relationships. It could be unhealthy eating habits. It could be financial unhealthy things. Most often, it's up here. It's scripts that we got told when we were little kids that we were made to believe that aren't true. That's illusion. That's the devil. So something important to remember in this devil card is the man and the woman that are here standing below him. Their chains are so loose. Okay, their chains are like this. They could easily take, that's how loose the chain around their neck is. It literally could slip over their head. Their hands are free. They're not bound. Their hands aren't bound. Their feet aren't bound. They could walk. They could run. They could, it's very much a voluntary servitude. So that's what that image is telling us. That this is a really voluntary servitude to this devil in our life. He could also represent toxic relationships. Those people in our lives and it's hard to walk away from because we're genuine, caring people, and it's hard for us to, because we love people and we don't want to give up on anybody. Sometimes you got to. Sometimes there's relationships that, need to be put at a distance. All right, let's get to the staff. So what I wanted to say, though, also about this devil that we're facing into, with the Queen of Wands in our crown, thinking of healing how we behaved. This week is all about thinking about your words, thinking about how you respond, thinking about how you used to respond and how you might start responding differently now. Interrupting negative thoughts instead of following through on them. Pausing for a breath. Just pausing for a calming breath. Just pausing to take a breath and look at one thing and feeling gratitude. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the staff. We, this week, are feeling like this 3 of Pentacles. So again, 3s, so we've got where this page is, so we're just learning, we're starting out on this new journey. We've got the Empress crossing us. So we're definitely trying to manifest we're creating something new, which has put us in this apprentice position. Notice, this is actually in my video, it's one of only 2 suit cards that aren't swords that I put in my darkest cards of the tarot, scariest cards of the tarot video. This is one of the scariest cards in the tarot, and you got both of the other 2. These are the only 2. They're pentacles. You've got both of them. The 3 and the 5 of pentacles are pretty dark. There's a lot of black in the card, you'll notice. And that absence of light in the tarot represents, darkness, negativity. Yeah. And you got them both here. Those are the only 2 suit cards other than swords that I talk about in my scary cards of the tarot video. So let me tell you why they're a little bit scary. I think that the 3 Pentacles is a little scary because you're kind of going back to school, going back to the beginning. It's like you're going back to the drawing board and relearning things or having to learn new skills. Plus, you're not proven yet and you've got people judging you. They've got people standing around and judging your work and all of that. And so simply because of that, because you're still creating and it hasn't started bearing fruit yet, like our Empress reminds us, and we're being judged by people, it can be difficult. It can cause stress and anxiety for us, right? That's why there's the darkness in the card that you see. Okay, so we're feeling that 3 of Pentacles energy. We're having to learn some things and having to go back. But look at this. Look at what the environment around us is offering us this week. 7 cups. 7 cups. Just all these options, like lots of options. All of them very appealing. Not all of them are real. Some are very just illusions. Some are mysterious. This one in the center is, you can't even tell what's under it. It's covered. It's like the price is right. I was at the show where I picked door number 2, I think we're going through a time right now energetically where we're reconsidering the future and we're realizing how endless the possibilities are. This card can lead to having all these options, and can lead to a little bit of analysis paralysis, not being sure what the right thing is to choose and not wanting to make the wrong choice, right? So that's why our final outcome is the 4 of Swords. That's going to help with this situation and deciding the right choice. Because right now this week we're being handed all kinds of choices. All of them look appealing and wonderful. And we wish we didn't have to choose. Okay, and then we get to our other dark pentacle card, the Five of Pentacles, in our hopes and fears section. So I'm sure this is a fear that we're kind of afraid of might happen, and I don't want us to meditate on this. This is the card of feeling left out in the cold. Fives are always a kind of a negative backward pull. I feel like as you're progressing through the journey and you're picking up momentum and you're learning and you're progressing, you hit the fives, and the fives have this backward suck and pull. Five Pentacles. He's out in the cold and the snow, and the church is all lit up. There's all these people in the inside feeling all the warmth and joy and love, and here he is stuck out here. What's important to remember in this card, the person is not alone. There's other people with them. We're together in this. You're not alone. You may feel alone, but you're not alone. None of us is alone. Hi, Persephone. Marie, I love that name, Persephone. I have a student at school where I teach named Persephone. I love that name, and I love the literary character as well. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Two Sunshine. Hi, Trisham. Hi, everybody who's here. Thank you for being here. Hi, Baba Scorpio. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you're doing the tap, tap, tap. If you want to do a power share, if you know people that like tarot, hold down, and it'll give your friends list, and you can share out. I try to do that with people when I hop in on their lives as well. I'm recording this for my YouTube channel. This is a general reading for the upcoming week. So do hop over to Tarot with Kat at YouTube, look for my little purple lotus like the one on here, and hit subscribe. It's totally free. You'll get notified when this drops if you can't stay for the whole reading. I am going to be moving very soon. I'm in California, so I'm not moving far. I'm moving just about half an hour away, closer to the school where I teach. Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but luckily it's only a half-hour move. And I'm lightening my load. I've been purging. I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff. I had accumulated a lot of things in my life, and now I'm purging, and it feels so good because I'm doing a lot of traveling. I do intend to travel a lot. I have some Europe plans, and went to Europe last summer, Sweden, Ireland, and yeah. So thank you for asking. Okay, back to our reading. So our fears is this Five of Pentacles. We don't want to miss the boat. We don't want to be left out in the cold with everybody else getting, the rewards. But I think this is a baseless fear because our head is definitely in the right place. We're bringing all kinds of beautiful energy. We're definitely manifesting, growing something with this Three of Pentacles. We're going to conquer this devil and this potential feeling of loneliness and fear of being left out by our final outcome, which is the Four of Swords. Okay, I love this. I love this card. It's probably my favorite swords card. So swords represent thoughts. It's air. It's logic, reason. It's communication. So I think of it as everything from the neck up. Whereas cups is everything from the neck down is how I consider swords. But this is a really cool card. Now, it's going to be hard for you guys to see it very well because of the reflection. But what it is it's a really fancy sarcophagus with one sword on the side and then three more swords hanging up on the wall. And then there's also this beautiful stained glass window here. So he's in a church, and the sun is coming through these saints in the window looking down on him. Okay, this is neat. This is a little bit of history for you. Back in the Dark Ages, during the time of the Crusades, these knights, who obviously came from money, right? To be a knight, you gotta have money, right? Kid of some king or noble or whatever. Definitely not a serf or a peasant. Anyway, they would go off on their crusades and they would commission a really fancy sarcophagus for themselves, because if you kick it and you're one of these important people, you have to have an important coffin, right? So they would commission years before they died a fancy sarcophagus to be done by some great stone artist, stonemason. But if they went out on the crusades and they were lucky enough to come back not dead, they had a custom of laying in that sarcophagus in quiet contemplation and gratitude to God for surviving, for having lived through and for having survived. They would just sit and they would just think and the Four of Swords is a card of quiet contemplation and no communication. So quiet contemplation is what we're doing this week. Even though we're feeling all this fire to move and we're pure pure fire in action here in our staff, from the King to the Page to the Queen of Wands. This week, we're going to be doing some quiet contemplation, some meditation, some to think about, instead of just responding the way we always would in the past, like this, we're thinking on it, and and that's also how we're going to avoid this devil in the near future, which is going to try to tempt us back. This always happens when we're progressing, when we're making change is uncomfortable, change feels weird and scary, and you can physically feel it sometimes. I had a day yesterday. I don't know if it had to do with the full moon or what. And I don't know how often, if this happens with you guys, but with me, I was just having a day, and I'm sure it has to do with all the change that I'm going through in the move and everything, but the emotions just were hitting me, man. I cried a lot. I let them all go. I know that this is a natural physiological response to some of these changes and things, but wow. Yeah. So anyway, that's the kind of week we're going to be having this upcoming week, because while we're feeling that push to take action and move, we're also being asked to be contemplative and quiet and rethink and reconsider how we always responded in our past. So what do you think the final clarification or confirmation card is, you guys? What could it be? We're going to read it either upright or reversed. And it'll give us further clarification in this reading. Hi, BBN, Crowade. Oh, G7. Shout out to all my G7 folks. Thanks for being here. Make sure you're doing all the tap, 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 tap on the screen for the hearts. That really helps me out. It helps out the channel. Thank you guys for being here and interacting. Now, Tanya Lovesy, you said when am I moving and where am I moving? So that's a question for you, about you. If you message me separate from this live right now, ask me your questions again sometime. And when I'm in the tarot studio, I like to pull cards for people and drop them a little response to their specific questions. So, hi, Luann. Thank you guys for being here so much. I'm Kat. We're almost done with this reading. We're about to see what our clarification or confirmation card is. And we have a reversal, and it's scarcity. It's our fear. It's the Five of Pentacles. Okay. So that is our fear. It's the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So, which stands for scarcity. So it says unexpected expenses, losses, disrupt your economic stability. I wish I had my readers on. Oh, resources seem limited. So this is going to feel this way this week. These limited, I'm already feeling it with this move. This move would not have been my choice. Let's just say that. I'm not going to get all into the details of why I'm having to move, but I'm being basically forced to move. It wasn't my original choice, but I'm having to choose the right thing for me now. And so, so I'm definitely feeling this scarcity and worrying about limited resources. This goes in this hopes and fears section right here. Right? The Five of Pentacles, that's the card of scarcity, feeling that there's scarcity. So it's really important to remember that scarcity is an illusion. Okay? That's the devil trying to make you think that, things are so scarce and resources are so limited, and they're infinite. They're abundant. We live in an abundant universe, and the energy of this universe is always working in your favor. It wants to bless you and provide for you, and that's always going on. So even though you might fear and scarcity and be feeling some scarcity, or be going through a time right now this week where you feel that scarcity, that's the time to sit with that Four of Swords and make your gratitude list. Remember all the things that you're feeling really bad, but gosh, think of all the things that you have going for you. And it often comes, sometimes I remind myself of that saying. I once felt bad for myself because I had no shoes until I met a man that had no feet. Right? So I feel like we have this fear of scarcity. I feel like I want to pull just a couple more, because I'm only doing the one reading this week, you guys. I'm going to pull a couple of the clarification cards really quickly for us. what cards do we want to use is the question. I'm going to use my Smith-Waite deck. Pamela Coleman Smith is the artist who did all the artwork for the traditional Rider-Waite deck, but she didn't get her name anywhere on it. I think she was a suffragette. She made, this was published, this deck, the Rider deck was published in like 1909, and women couldn't even vote at the time. Think of all the money this deck made. Anyway, on the 100th anniversary, they put her name. It's now called the Smith-Waite deck. And I love it. Her initials, which are on the outside of the deck, are on every single card in her artwork somewhere, except for the Fool, which I kind of love. This deck also has some bonus artwork, which could pop out. So let's see. We want a little further clarification of this reading. What else do we need to know about this upcoming week? What else do we need to know about this feeling of scarcity? What else do we need to know? Well, ouch. Crimped my card a little bit. We got a 5, another 5. 5. Remember I said the negative 5s? It's a 5 of swords. It's a 5 of swords. Okay. So 5 of swords is arguments, disagreements. It's, remember I said this page of swords who was trying to talk to people and convince people they're right and stuff. And that's what we're coming out of. It's like we weren't able to convince others. I wasn't. I know I wasn't. I know exactly what this applies to for me, but we weren't able to convince others with our logic and our words and our reasoning, and everybody walked away just not. There's no winner. You know, sometimes when you win, you lose kind of a deal, and I feel like we've been experiencing some of this, trying to communicate and not being understood or not being heard is what's been happening. We'll pull one more card from our Smith-Waite and then maybe get one more. What else do we need to know? Okay, so we need to be quiet. That's final outcome, 4 of Swords. Quiet contemplation is where it's at this week, you guys. Sitting with those feelings and emotions, examining the thoughts going through your head, and Queen of Wands, taking action, doing things different, taking action to combat that old programming. And you guys, it's the kind of thing that takes practice. It's not like, oh, all of a sudden I'm meditating, boom, it's easy. No, it's a muscle. It's like a muscle that you strengthen, you get better at. And so, yeah. All right, let's pull one more. I feel like I want to do one more from the Smith-Waite deck. Got one more. Anything else that we need to know? There it is. 9 Wands. Okay, we got 9 Wands. We're tired. This is a card of exhaustion. 9s are we have come to the end of a cycle. Something has ended. It has been, we're still there. We're showing up. He's got a bandage on his head, but he's standing there on duty. He has not given up. But he's at the end. He's at the end of a cycle. It's been very difficult, and we're very exhausted. This is a card of mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion. And we're looking at a little bit of exhaustion maybe this week. Again, leading us to the 4 of Swords, just taking that time to rest. And certain things, letting things wait that can wait. Okay? Not always feeling like you have to get everything done now. All right. One more. Light Seers Tarot deck. I like this. The graphics are very different, super colorful. Not Rider-Waite at all. Not Thoth. I have a Thoth deck. Thoth is different. The Thoth deck is very different. I'll do a video sometime and get into that and talk about that and about that deck. Hi, Kenny. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Nia. Hi, everybody who's here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for remembering to tap, 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 do all the hearts. I appreciate it so much. If you want to message me off of this live over TikTok with any questions, I'm happy to put cards for people. This recording that I'm recording now will post on my YouTube channel probably on Monday. So be sure to hop on over there to Tarot with Kat and hit subscribe. It's totally free and you'll get notified when my readings drop for the week. Okay, I really appreciate it. Helps the channel out a lot. Thank you guys all for being here. Happy almost Easter if that's your thing. Okay, so here we go. One more card for us. One more. What do we need to know? One more card. One more card. That's not one, that's a whole hunk of chunk. Final word, final word. Okay, maybe we get 2 words. Let's see. So we have 6 swords. Oh, gosh, I love that. Okay, so we've got the 4, 5, and 6 of swords. And then we've got the 4 of cups also. 4 cups. So 4 swords, 4 cups. Let's deal with the 4 cups first. 4 cups, you've got 3 full cups. The universe is handing you another cup, but you're thinking, oh, that's just not enough. That's not going to cut it anymore. That's not enough. And this could, sometimes, depending on the reading and what we're talking about, this is often a card telling us that we need to find gratitude and have gratitude for everything that we have. That could be the case with this scarcity card showing up. If we're feeling like the 5 of Pentacles, where'd it go? Yeah, we've got this. We're fearing this 5 of Pentacles and scarcity. Then the 4 of Cups is not seeing what you've got, not appreciating what you have available to you. That very much could be it. Or it also could be the card of no longer settling for just 4 cups, for realizing you're worth more than 4 cups. Like sometimes you walk away because you're not being valued. And you say, no, I mean, a 4 is only a 4. It's not very far along the Fool's journey in life. And at some point you got to, if you want to move further, you got to find that 4 is not cutting it anymore. Interesting. So I don't know. I feel like with the scarcity cards coming up here and the 5 of Pentacles, that this is more, and us starting out on a new venture with all these possibilities and maybe, still trying to grow it and build it. And it hasn't happened yet. Like the Empress, it hasn't been born yet. So we're maybe focusing on what we don't have. And maybe we need to be really focused. I think we just need to have gratitude in all things. And when we do, more cups will arrive. That's how that works. And then we've got six swords, which is being ferried across. This is an interesting way. The boat is being pulled by these crows. And in this deck, in this particular deck, my Lightseers Tarot, they often switch the gender of the people in the pictures, which I think is kind of neat. Anyway, the 6 crows, you're being 6 swords, being ferried across to safer times. We're getting through the trouble. We're getting through, we're past the arguments, that 5 of swords. And now we're going across calm waters to a better place, to a happier place. And we're doing it. She's not alone. She's got others with her. So again, just like the 5 of swords, it's remembering you're not alone and you're getting through it. You're getting through to the other side, is what that card is telling us. So don't give up hope. You're getting through, even though you're feeling this way this week. All right, you guys, that is our reading for this week. Hi, Lovely. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Alan. Hi, Amaris. Hi, Kenny. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so I'm going to have to cut this off. For the next few weeks, for the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm only going to be able to do the 1 weekly reading. I will try to record it on Friday, Saturday. Usually it's Saturday morning, to drop on my YouTube channel on Mondays. After that, after my move and I get moved into my new place, we'll be back in action. And I also plan on launching my cat cutting class channel, which I hope you guys will follow as well. I do some other things with word hacks and grammar frequency challenges and stuff like that. So I hope you guys will all join me. You guys, thank you so much for being here. We're going to end this recording. I'm going to scoot on around. Thank you. Have a happy Saturday. Have a happy Easter. Sending you guys all my love. Oh, by the way, if you hopped on at 10, you might have heard me meditating for 5 minutes. Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., the whole collective hopping on for 5 minutes, just meditating on unity, peace, love, and respect. I appreciate it. I do it. I have my son in the Air Force in the Middle East right now, and I think we could all just enjoy and really use a little more unity, peace, love, and respect. So thank you guys so much for being here.